So, in other news here, we have, well, a new game. We talked about Power World and went over the Power World stuff, but now it's on to Helldivers 2, which I'm sure you've seen this game if you've heard about it, and it's gone crazy, and it is blowing up pretty good right now, and it's kind of reminiscent of the Power World idea here. Sorry. So let's take a look at this. If you were wondering why Helldivers 2 is getting so popular and people love it, here is a good list. Game launched at $40 with a lot of content. Devs had good communication with the community. It reminds you of the 360 PS3 era of pure co-op fun. The gameplay itself is so incredible. Good level up system too, which this is a big one, honestly, because a lot of games that come out like AAA games and stuff like that, they just don't really, the gameplay just lacks, man. I mean, go look at Skull and Bones, the first quadruple A title. Brother, man, it's a pirate game and you can't even, boarding a ship is a cutscene. It's crazy. But anyway, so I mean that's great that the gameplay is incredible and people love it. Not to mention a level up system. I think this is a very the level up system I think is a very underrated thing in gaming, okay? Because in my opinion, even if your game isn't anything super crazy for you know, uh level up, right? Like look at a game like Squad, right? Or what do you do, right? It's Squad. What are you gonna have levels for? What are levels gonna do? Nothing. They're not gonna do anything, but they are a progression system that people can say, oh hey, I'm level 300 in Squad. What does that mean? Nothing. It just means that, you know, you're a level, right? You've been playing for a while or whatever. So I think a good level up system, I think, is honestly very important and highly underrated in a lot of video games. I would say, because it's not like it's crazy difficult to have. You don't have to have it super complex, even if the game doesn't make sense with the level system. Just having it gives people something to grind for, and people will play the game more and more just to level up, even though it means nothing. Right? Like when I play Squad, I'd love to have a level, even though it doesn't do anything for me. Just having a level, that'd be cool. Right? Instead, all I have is hours. Hey, I have this many hours in the game. Right? Like it just, in my opinion, it gives the people another idea to kind of incentivize to keep them coming back and playing, because they get the level up. They get the what is it called? What is it called? The positive dopamine, right? They get dopamine when they level up, and they get a special animation. Oh, cool, I leveled up. Whoop-de-doo, right? But it keeps them coming back, in my opinion. But yeah. The microtransactions feels so light. It doesn't damage the game. Again, microtransactions as well, right? Making it so that it's not crazy pay to win. Is another aspect of these video games as well, right? Like, oh, there is microtransactions, which is fine. They're fine to have in the game, especially if they're just cosmetic and stuff. But if they don't highly impact the game and just give an advantage to other people, then I think it's fine. And I think microtransactions is a great way to help monetize and make income on a game that you already paid for, right? Obviously, oh yeah, you paid $40 for the game. But I mean, if the microtransactions aren't a crazy deal in the game, just it's not a bad idea to have it, right? It's not a terrible thing to have it. The main focus is PvE. They won't do PvP and get a toxic community. I think that could be a bit of a downside too. I mean, again, catering to the community of what they want, you know, like, I mean, offering PvP. Hey, if you want a PvP, sure, go ahead. There's an option for you to PvP. But if you don't, the main focus is on PvE. So I think that's kind of an upside and downside a little bit. But the target here that this person says is, again, get a toxic community, which, I mean, yeah. I mean, PvP does typically relate to a bit of a toxic community. PvE is more laid back, casual aspect of video gaming. So I understand where that's coming from too. But, you know, just because you have PvP in a game doesn't always mean that there will be toxicity. But there will definitely be more than just PvE. That's for sure. It gives you a good adrenaline when finishing a mission, so hard to not say just one more game type of experience, which is really cool, right? Really cool. So again, like Helldivers 2 doing really, really great. I mean, let's go take a look at Steam charts here. 230,000 players right now, 24-hour peak, 444,000, 457,000 2 days ago, all-time peak. The game's doing good. Not as good as Power World. Power World is way bigger. But then again, Pal World has to relate more to the casual community, right? Casual audience. Rather than Helldivers, I would say is a little bit more of the mature-ish audience or whatever. But considering the target demographic for this game, it's doing great. It is doing absolute wonders. So major props to Helldivers 2. So I figured I'd just kind of throw this out here because I mean, yeah, bro, Helldivers 2 it's doing numbers, right? Quad A title took over 10 years to make, changed direction 3 times, and even during the first trailers like 3 years back, it had glitches. Ubisoft need to sit the F down and focus on one game a year for now. True. Sure, but not every game needs it. I don't think they're going for like millions of players daily and more just like, we made this, hope you like it. Right. I mean, true. True. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But no, yeah, exactly right. You're exactly right. Not every game needs PvP, which is true. That's fine. Right. And they just throw that out there and there you go. Right. There you go. So, yeah, I figured I'd throw that out there for Helldivers 2. I know it's going crazy. And one big thing about this too that I want to say is I think there's stats for it here. I thought there was stats. I thought this had stats for it. Oh, right here. Twitch stats. They literally have a spot for Twitch stats. 151,000 all-time peak 14 days ago, 45,000, 31,000 viewers right now watching Helldivers 2. Now, the drops are done, but they had drops. When this game released, they had Twitch drops. So if you watch people playing the game, you were able to receive an item in the game because of a Twitch drop or something like that. Again, that increases not only people playing the game, but that helps the viewership of the game as well on the platform, which is why, again, API and Kick, having drops on Kick and getting a game like Helldivers 2 to, rather than drop it on Twitch, come out with it on Kick first, do a week of drops on Kick, or do drops exclusively on Kick only, would be huge for the platform. Not the game wouldn't benefit a lot from it. Let's be honest. The game wouldn't really benefit a lot from it, but it'd be huge for the platform. Kick would increase in a lot of viewership because people are wanting drops for the game. So they're going to come watch Kick streamers. That helps Kick as a platform, and that helps streamers on Kick as well who are playing the game. So again, I think drops is a great idea, and honestly, I will say, in my opinion, I do think drops helped this game a bit as well, because people are constantly, bro. I still see people in Summit 1G's channel asking if drops are enabled and if he's gonna play Helldivers 2 for drops, even though drops are done, right? But it's still that goes to show you the impact, the effect that drops on a video game have. So, I just figured I would throw that out there because, I mean, Helldivers 2 is doing amazing. And I'm very curious to see if it can hold the hype over time here. I mean, if we go take a look at a game like Pal World here, Pal World is kind of dying now. Oh, my God, bro. It is, holy God, bro. Pal World has hit a wall. Man, Pal World has hit a wall. I mean, just taking a look at this, man, Pal World has hit a major wall right here. Yeah, Pal World's hit a major wall. Getting 50 or 500,000 player peak to 500,000 on February 18th, February 14th, 400,000, February 14th, 400,000, 375. The peak's starting to go down. It's starting to go down to where it's going to average out, right? 2.1 million 26 days ago. The game has had its peak. It's going to start to level out now. Okay, there's no way that it can keep the hype the entire time throughout its entire life. It's not going to happen. So I'm curious again in 4 or 5 months from now what this number will be. If they can maintain over 100,000, bro, this game is killing it. That ratio compared to the all-time peak is insane if they can maintain 100,000. So we'll see, right? Did you check the devs response to people saying Power World fell off? No, I didn't. If you can link me that, I'll take a look at it. But the main reason I mention this is that no matter what we see for the stats here, at the end of the day, the game will it'll level out. The game was in a hype peak moment. That's why it's hitting 2 million players. It's going to kind of level out, right? It's going to level out and get to its normal, regular area of what it's going to sit at, right? It just is. Every game does that. Every game goes through that same process. There's no way to avoid that process, right? There's not. So again, I'm just curious to see where Helldivers is going to go. I have a feeling that Helldivers will probably bottom out, and when it gets to its average, it's probably going to hit, based on its peak numbers and stuff, 5,000, between 3 to 5,000 average players a day, I would say, is where Helldivers is going to kind of average out here within a month or 2 months or so, is what I would guess. So we'll see. But congrats to Helldivers, though, for its success.